All right, guys, let me just give you an update. What's going on with me? I just got off the phone with the president of Guam. And folks, I've been informed that I am permanently banned from betting on any sports from any country because, guys, last week it was in the news, it was huge. I won a $6 billion parlay and I completely bankrupted the country of Madagascar. So, folks, that happened. I feel so bad for the country, but guys, I'm banned everywhere. The safe parlay is banned. It's unbelievable. But here I am. I stand tall and I bring you the unimaginable, the absolute auto lock free money. Received another email earlier this morning. I made someone else $1 billion. I keep getting these emails. We're not talking about millions. We're talking billions. That's how much money I'm making, people. It's so uplifting. It's so inspiring. Guys, my new book is coming out where I talk about all of it. It's going to be a New York Times bestseller. We're writing it right now. It's going to be over 1,200 pages long. Let's get right into it. The safe parlay, safe and secure. That's the motto, guys. Safe and secure. Ohio State, first team to 40 versus Indiana. So, guys, I'm doing another one of those bets. As long as Ohio State is the first team to score 40 points, obviously Indiana's not coming anywhere close to 40 points. But guys, Ryan Day, CJ Stroud, it's going to be great weather. They're going to want to get their offense back on track. They're 40-point favorites. They will very easily get to 40 points. I actually have Ohio State dropping an 80 burger. No, I'm not kidding. They will score 80 points this week. And this is minus 335. First team to 40 points, it's free money. It is free. Number 2, we're going to go in on Penn State, right on the money line versus Maryland. So Penn State sitting minus 10 right now. I view their money line as kind of a good value parlay multiplier. I would be shocked if they lose. They're very motivated. They're at home. You know, they lost to Maryland a few years ago. They know if they win out, they're guaranteed a New Year's Six game. They've got the veteran quarterback. They've got the momentum. They just crushed Indiana on the road. This is a good football team. They're going to beat Maryland at home. I also do think they're going to cover the 10-point spread, but I'm not betting that. Personally, Houston first to 30 versus Temple. So, guys, Temple, they had an aberration game last week. Houston is 20-point favorites. Houston's offense is humming right now. You know, we know their game, their shootout last week against SMU. They will very easily get to 30 points. I think they cover the 20-point spread versus Temple. But, guys, it's safe, it's secure. As long as Houston is the first team to 30 points, this bet wins. For example, let's say for whatever reason it's 27-27. Houston scores a touchdown. 34-27. They get over the 30-point threshold. I automatically win. Even if Temple comes back and wins outright, I win the bet. So that's what that bet is, just explaining it. That one is minus 460. The Ohio State one is minus 335. And then we're going to go in on Florida State money line at Syracuse. Jordan Travis, the FSU quarterback, is just such a phenomenal player. He's been so good this year. Florida State just annihilated Miami on the road. That was a sellout crowd for the U. And Florida State, they're on a warpath right now. They're trouncing everyone. Syracuse cannot score. They just have no offense. I will take Florida State. They're around 6.5-point favorites on the road. I believe this is an 8 o'clock game at night on the ACC network. How about that? Yes, we will take Florida State. And guys, we're keeping it safe. We're keeping it delicate and secure. 2 money lines, 2 first to 30, and that is the overall parlay. It's a safer one, guys. It's safe and secure. It's free money. I love giving it away. It's so uplifting, and it is something that is truly historic. Next, we've got Cincinnati money line versus East Carolina. I love the value of Cincinnati on the money line. This line is down to 4.5 points, but guys, All of the experts, all of the data suggests that Cincinnati really should be like 7 or 8 point favorites in this game. East Carolina has a bad defense. Cincinnati, I think, is a little bit better on offense than people give them credit for. Ben Bryant has shown the ability to throw and sling the rock a little bit. He's had several 300-yard passing games. This is a Friday night game. Cincinnati's at home. They know it's a big game. They still have an outside chance at making a New Year's Six Bowl. They're going to win it. I'll take them on the money line. Next, we've got Wake Forest money line versus North Carolina. So this is one of those typical games where we think there's value on North Carolina because North Carolina is kind of thought of to be the better team, and they're plus 3.5. But guys, we see this happen over and over again. You know, the favorite of this type of a game normally wins. We saw it last week with Kansas State and Texas, where Texas was 2.5 point favorites. Everyone was saying the value was on KSU plus the 2.5, and Texas wins and covers. It just feels like North Carolina should have more than one loss based on how bad their defense is. I totally understand the massive deficiency Wake Forest has. They cannot run the ball, but Sam Hartman is a veteran quarterback. He's facing a terrible defense. Drake May seems to be getting maybe just a little bit too much hype at this point. I like Drake May, but now it's getting to the point where it's like, we need some type of equilibrium correction. And I think that's what's going to happen. So I'll take Wake Forest. I'm not interested, minus the 3.5. I think that's a bad line, but I'll take them to win this game outright. And then I love this bet, guys. Auburn money line versus Texas A&M. Cadillac Williams, the interim head coach for Auburn, has that team playing hard. The environment, there's energy. They've got a young quarterback. They're -2. I will take them on the money line. Texas A&M is a dead program, very similar to Miami. It's these NIL programs that are just totally lost causes at this point. So Auburn, with the interim head coach, they've got energy. They're at home. They played a very competitive game with Mississippi State, easily covered that spread. I will take them to win this game outright, and that is just a little 3-team parlay. That is total money line right there, plus 337. Moving to my third parlay. This is a Friday night game, so I'll just take Fresno State on the money line at UNLV. I love Fresno State minus the 9.5 as well, but it is a parlay, so a little bit harder to win. So let's make it easier on ourselves and just say we like Fresno State on the money line. UNLV sucks. Fresno State is on an absolute warpath right now. They got their starting quarterback back, who could be a first-round pick in the NFL draft. Arizona State at Washington State, the under 60. So, guys, the reason I'm going in on the under in this game, I did happen to check the weather, and this game is going to be played in about 35 degrees, and you've got a team like Arizona State. I just feel like they're not going to want to be there. It's going to be freezing. I don't think they're going to score a ton. I think their offense gets shut down because it's cold out. Honestly, I think that's what's going to happen. So that's why I think there's value in the under 60. I believe this line originally opened, I don't remember. It feels like it opened so much lower and then it got bet up. But it was just one of those games where I was like, if it was like 70 degrees out, I would probably take the over. Because Arizona State, every one of their games is going over, but it just feels like Arizona State in 30-degree weather, I think their offense could just shrivel up, honestly. So I'll take the overall under 60 in that one. UAB money line versus North Texas. I have had my issues betting on UAB football, but they are a 6-point favorite at home versus North Texas. They're due for a win. I also love the over 57.5 in this game, but I will take UAB right on the money line in that one. And then, guys, trust Baylor football at home. 2.5-point favorites versus Kansas State. This is the week they get ranked. They're going to win this game. They're going to get ranked within the top 20. Baylor football, really good. One of the most underrated football teams. One of the most underrated college football teams out there right now. And that is an overall 4-team parlay plus 517 on those odds right there. Moving on to my fourth parlay, we're going to take Texas Tech money line versus Kansas. So, guys, I'm doing that same strategy where, a lot of people would probably argue that Kansas should be the favorites in this game. But, guys, think about it. Texas Tech, 3.5-point favorites. They're at home. Kansas defense sucks. Texas Tech plays well on offense at home. I think Texas Tech drops maybe even a 40 or a 50 burger on Kansas. Kansas is really streaky. They've had good games, but they've also given up 700 yards of total offense to Oklahoma. They do not have a good defense. I like the value in Texas Tech here at home. Indiana at Ohio State. We got to go in on the over 58. I think the Buckeyes are going to absolutely run it up on Indiana. And I also think Indiana minimum will score a touchdown. So if you're talking about Indiana maybe even scoring 10 or 14 points, guys, it's going to be a minimum 50 burger for Ohio State. They're due for an offensive explosion. Don't worry, I checked the weather. It's going to be, partly cloudy, maybe even sunny there for that noon game. And Ohio State is just going to totally run it up on Indiana. There's this narrative that Ohio State's offense, it's not great. Obviously, beating Indiana by 40 isn't going to disprove that narrative, but it is going to ease a few minds if you go out there and you just annihilate Indiana and C.J. Stroud throws for 5 touchdowns in the first half. I think it's going to happen. I like plus, I believe... Did the Penn State-Ohio State game did go over, but I know for sure the Northwestern game was under, so I like it to go back. Ohio State going over in that one. San Jose State at San Diego State, we're going under 41.5, so I'm going to, not make it complicated. Both of these teams have below average offenses. Both of them have above average defenses. I'm surprised this line has moved up. It originally opened at 39, and I liked the under in that, so now I really like the under 41.5. Also, this is a 10:30 game, East Coast time, so I just like the overall vibe of this being a defensive battle, maybe like a 19-16 type final, with the under hitting very easily. And then UCF moneyline at Tulane. I've got to fall on the sword with UCF. To me, they're just better than Tulane. I feel like Tulane's a bit of a fraud. I think Tulane was ripe for an upset last week against Tulsa where their offense struggled. They got lucky that Tulsa's starting quarterback was out. Nobody will talk about it. This is going to be UCF, guys. UCF is just straight up the better team, and that is the 4-team parlay plus 1,100 odds. A little bit more of a long shot in this parlay on that one. Moving on to my parlay number 5, Army plus the 9 at Troy. So, guys, Army is great value here. This is going to be a very low-scoring game. I've seen some analytical models that think Army wins this game outright. I don't think that, but there's great value on Army to at least keep this game close. Troy does not have a good offense. North Texas at UAB, the over 58. So, guys, I said earlier I love the over in this game. I guess it got bet up to 58. North Texas games normally always go over. UAB certainly has a good enough offense to where, we could see like even a 40-24 type game. That's 64 points. That gets you the over right there. Wyoming at Colorado State, the under 42. Again, originally I had this as Wyoming money line, but I just think this is better value. I don't, these two teams, it's going to be 7-degree weather. The wind chill's in the -20s. Dude, are they really going to get to 42 together? I just don't see it. It's two bad offenses in the Mountain West. We've seen, this happen time and time again. Very low scoring game in that one. So that is just a quick 3-team parlay right there, plus right around 600 on those odds. And then I always like doing this. So this is just, I always like seeing if these would win. This is an 8-team parlay. Arkansas State moneyline against UMass. Kentucky moneyline versus Vandy. NC State moneyline versus BC. Boise State moneyline at Nevada. Utah moneyline versus Stanford. UCLA moneyline versus Arizona. Georgia and Alabama both on the money line. And it's just, I don't know, it's something I like to do this to see if any of these teams actually will lose. I guess, you would think the one team that would have the best chance of losing would be Alabama, but they are coming off a loss. And do we really think Nick Saban is going to lose back-to-back regular season games? That would be shocking. But guys, I would not say to bet this. I like doing this just to see if it would actually win. I kind of find it interesting if you parlay all the heavy favorites together. It's kind of like free money. But again, Boston College could beat NC State. Who knows? It's college football. Weird things can happen. But guys, those are going to do it for my top 5 college football betting parlays here for week number 11. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.